Greetings, folks. It's been a while since you've seen my face in a long-form video, hasn't it? Well, that's because as I got better at graphic design, I started making excuses as to why it would actually be better if I didn't appear on screen. However, I recently realized that if I expect to be taken seriously, and especially if I expect to get paid, then I better have the guts to show my face to the world when I speak. Today I'm going to talk about something that occupies a lot of space in my head, and I'm sure the heads of many of my fellow countrymen as well, and that is the current decline of South Africa. You see, on Monday night, I had a minor mental breakdown, and that was caused by something which we call load shedding. Load shedding is a system of power outages that happen across the country each day for 2 hours at a time in designated blocks. This is a phenomenon that has taken place on and off since 2008, and quite frankly, it is necessary because of disturbing levels of corruption and disastrous mismanagement by those in power. You must understand that since seizing control of national government in 1994, the African National Congress has done almost nothing to maintain or upgrade our national electrical grid. Worse than that, they went on to promise free electricity to our poorest citizens in an attempt to gain their votes. This has, as you might imagine, done great damage to our local economy, because many smaller businesses simply cannot afford the cost of a private generator and are therefore forced to close. So whatever money might have been made in these periods with no power is lost. It has also led to an increase in the already shockingly high crime rate in this country, because now thieves basically have an open schedule to follow for when certain neighborhoods will be in almost complete darkness. In fact, the other day I was in conversation with one of the armed guards who is employed to protect our suburb, and he said to me with a look of deep frustration on his face, "Load shedding is making us run." Basically meaning that the number of false alarms and accidental calls for help has shot way up. Now, as you might imagine, living in this environment is extremely stressful, and you might ask, why not just leave? The answer to that is that we would if we could, but neither my brother, nor I, nor our parents are in possession of the finances or connections necessary to emigrate. I want to be as clear as I can about this. South Africa is the most stable and coherent nation on this continent. So what leaving really means is to relocate to the West. We cannot apply for asylum, as many of my friends have suggested. I checked, and we don't meet most international standards. Added to this is the fact that the international community still broadly views white South Africans as colonial oppressors, despite the fact that we are a clear minority in our own country and that there are racially discriminatory laws which impact our ability to apply for jobs as well as government support. Now, I started off talking about the failure of Eskom, which at this point is currently several billion rand in debt with very little hope of recovery. But Eskom isn't the only institution that's failing. Almost every state-owned enterprise, from our national radio and television broadcaster to the nation's largest airline, are functionally bankrupt. And once again, this is because of very, very poor management and open corruption. In fact, corruption is such an inherent aspect of South African society now that we almost don't react when the latest scandal goes public. After all, and I'm not making this up, you can Google it if you don't believe me, the former president of this country, who was until a few months ago the leader until he was forced by his own party to resign, Jacob Zuma, is currently under legal investigation for trying to hand control of this entire country over to a family of Indian businessmen. So yeah, I'm being honest when I say the situation here is anything but good. I'm not sure how to bring this video to a close other than to apologize for the fact that I can't promise a light at the end of the tunnel. Because if you look at Africa's historical track record, that simply isn't how things tend to work out. However, if you appreciate my content and would like to make more of it possible, then please consider signing up for a monthly pledge on Patreon or sending me a once-off contribution via PayPal. For now, farewell.